All right. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Aaron Fox with KSB Community Wellness. So great presentation tonight, part of our brain health series. So we got a couple guest speakers this evening. So Debi Butler and Claira Kapraun. Hopefully I said that right. So if you have comments, questions as we're going along, feel free to leave them, and we'll try and get those as we go along tonight. So no further ado, I'll pass it on to Debi and Claira.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for the introduction, and thank you everyone for watching. My name is Debi Butler. I'm the founder of Brain Health Now, and I will be talking about how we got started and how we're working through the state of Iowa and starting in Illinois to help end stigma surrounding mental illness by reframing the words to brain health. Claira will be showing you a pitch deck once I get through the introductory session, and then we'll keep on going. So like I said, I'm Debi Butler, and I will tell you about my story. About 36 years ago, my brother, Steve, was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And needless to say, our family of my mom, my dad, and my brother had been through an awful lot. My brother was honorably discharged from the military. We lived in Arizona at the time. And he was sent home without any instructions, without any explanations. And he was hallucinating to the point where he didn't even know who he was. So my brother lived with us for about 6 months, and we got him diagnosed from a very good facility in Arizona. I can also tell you that the stigma back in 1985 was intense. So my mom, it was to the point where my mom wouldn't even talk about what happened to my brother to the family. So Steve for years suffered from the way society would look at him. And so as a big sister, I decided that I wanted to do something good for him because I wanted him to feel normal and feel self-worth and feel like he was a part of society, not that society was shunning him away. And I can also tell you that all the hundreds of people that I've talked to over the past 36 years is that the disease itself was as detrimental as the stigma itself was as detrimental as the disease. Let me repeat that. The stigma itself was as detrimental than the disease. So over the years, for the past 36 years, we've done multiple things for Steve. I will tell you he's been in and out of over 12 institutions over the past 36 years. He's tried to commit suicide 7 times, which is very tough because he's generally a good person, very high energy, loves to be around his family. But the stigma and the way society treated him was so intense that he couldn't deal with it day to day. So those are the sad things about Steve. He also is on 30 pills a day to try to help hallucinations and the voices stop. Over the years, like I said, we've done multiple things for Steve. He was very high functioning for a while, and then all of a sudden things just got to him. So we have decided to start a campaign 3.5 years ago. And I woke up literally at 2 o'clock in the morning and thought, what can we do now? What can we do now to help Steve and the 1 out of 5 people that are suffering from the brain health issues? Because by the way, the brain is an organ. It can get sick too, just like your kidneys, just like your heart, just like your liver. And why would anyone treat it any differently than they should? So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I had this idea, and I thought, we live in Dubuque, Iowa. That's where we started this campaign. And there's over 100,000 people in the county. So I thought, billboards. What a better way to get to people through billboards. So we put a billboards up, which you'll see later on. Claire will show you some examples of the billboards. And we decided to say, it's brain health now. It's brain health, not mental illness. And so we decided to change all the words from mental to brain and see what people would react to. Because really, if you think about it, what's a mental? People can't identify a mental, but what is a brain? A brain's an organ, and a brain can get sick too. So we did this campaign through Dubuque, Iowa, and I can tell you to date, 3.5 years later, that most every institution of hospitals, organizations, businesses, people in general are now using the terminology brain health. We're very proud and we're very happy. To include the fact that we're going through the state of Iowa, it'll be the next 6 months with the MHDS, which is an organization that runs the 99 counties. And we're going to be doing an initiative for brain health, not mental illness. So we're very proud to be able to do those things. And we're working on Illinois, which KSB is a wonderful collaborative that we work with. We're very proud to be a part of that. And so we're going to be very, very, it's going to be very happy and very challenging to get through the state of Illinois, but that's our goal. So without further ado, again, I'm going to give this to Claira, and then anybody that would like to have any questions, they can get in the chat and ask us. And then also Claira will tell you how you can contact us at the end of the presentation. So thank you once again for watching, and Claira will take over.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Can you give a head nod that you can hear me? Awesome. Awesome. Welcome, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. As Debbie mentioned, I'll be taking you through the bulk of the pitch deck. We are very happy to be here. Thank you to KSB and for everything you guys are doing to lead the way and really help end the stigma. You've been great partners over the years, and we look forward to continuing to partner with you. So what is brain health now? What do we talk about when we sit down and make our case for people? Well, really, we like to start with the basic statistics that many of you may already know, right? So the fact that over 50 million Americans have a diagnosable brain health disorder each and every year. That's an impactful statistic, wouldn't you say? Another one that we've all seen over and over again is NAMI's 1 in 5, right? This 1 in 5 adults experience a brain health issue. And note how when Debbie talked about how we're replacing the language, you see mental illness there. I'm interchanging it with brain health issue. Again, reframing the way we're talking about it in just basic statistics. So what does this look like at a state-by-state level? So here in the tri-state area, you can see that 1 in 5 adults is over 1.9 million Illinois residents, right? 1.9 million Illinois adult residents that deal with a brain health issue. That's what 1 in 5 looks like to the state of Illinois. You can see Iowa and Wisconsin there as well. But we really try to be inclusive and look, at a holistic regional approach, because this isn't just Iowa. It isn't just Illinois. It's everywhere. And we really need to keep working to end this stigma, right? So what happens if we don't? Well, let's dig into some consequences if we don't end the stigma. And those are that we would see a rise of already the approximately 20% of those people that experience homelessness have a brain health issue, right? Over a third of state and federal prisoners have a diagnosable brain health issue. So this is what happens when we're not actively ending the stigma. And if we don't do something, this could just get worse. And we want it to improve. We want it to get better, right? Everyone goes to the numbers about treatment and resources, but where we like to start is this consequences and then the impact on the greater society, right? So those consequences and this impact, they build our business case as to why we need to end the stigma. So the fact that depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide, that is an incredible statistic for us to undertake and say, wow, how pervasive that must be in every single culture. And the fact that it's the leading cause, what are we doing about it, right? So we need to, make it so that way people can talk about it first, because you can't address a problem if you can't talk about it, right? The fact that depression, anxiety costs the global economy $1 trillion in lost productivity every year, but there's still a stigma to talking about the issues behind the reason of that $1 trillion loss. Those are huge areas just in the business world and society in general that we can address that would help end the stigma and make the world a more productive place, right? So now we're going to where everyone goes, which is treatment, right? Everyone goes to treatment resources. They're always vying, everyone's vying for the same dollars. So we leave this one intentionally for the end because we want to talk about the wider impact to communities if this treatment isn't available. So we start at a very macro level and come down to a micro level. So one of these that sticks out to us most as we work with a lot of high schools and junior highs is nearly 50% of youth aged 8 to 15 didn't receive brain health services in the previous years. And we're very blessed to have NAMI National as a resource. They are where we pull a lot of these statistics from, and we put them together and we present them to build our business case as to why this is so impactful. And so NAMI is truly a great partner. And then we get into the science part. So the NAMI statistics into the science part of, hey guys, like Debbie said at the beginning, the brain is an organ. It weighs 3 pounds and it can get sick too. That is basic science, right? And so that's why we want to draw it back to just very simple concepts of, here are the numbers, here's some simple science behind it, and here's what brain scans can show us now, right? That research has proven that brain disease is caused by malfunction in connections between nerve cells along certain pathways within the brain. And how we see that is in abnormal mood or behavior, right? So how we see what the brain is doing is through those external components. So, but now we have such advanced scanning that we're able to see the areas of the brain where activity is limited or very hyper, or just where it has been compromised. And that is the powerful thing behind our campaign to end the stigma, is we're just asking you to treat people with brain health issue the same way you would treat someone if they had a heart condition. You know, if you saw a vast array of hearts up here in various stages of health, you may be a little bit more empathetic. And so we're just asking that when people think about the language that they use, that they're just as empathetic about the brain as they are about other organs in the body, right? So when we talk about the effects of brain disease, brain health, we're talking about the factors that alter the functions of the brain, right? Very, very straightforward. And this is so important to just get to the basic point, as Debbie mentioned in the beginning, that the brain can get sick too. So it's very important that we think about the words that we use, because the words that we use create connotation and they create perception and the reality about a subject. And so if we're using negative words, then that connotation is going to stay negative and that stigma is still going to stay. But if we call it what it truly is, you know, that the brain is sick, then we can really make progress, right? So we are a grassroots organization dedicated to ending the stigma around brain health issues, right? That's why we're Brain Health Now. We want people to take it seriously now. It's an organ, right? So we do things like this. So as you can see on the screen, our strategy is to educate the public that rather than being character flaws or personal weaknesses, there is a biological and neurological basis, which we looked at when we were looking at the scans of the brain, right? So another middle of the night idea by Debbie was this ending the stigma hierarchy. And you may have picked up on me talking about the different stages throughout the presentation. So we first have to acknowledge that the stigma is there. If we're going to end the stigma, if we're going to make it a better place for all of the world, a better place for all of us, we need to acknowledge that stigma is there. Because only once we acknowledge that the stigma is there can we address it and change the words that we are using. And once we've had that internal change, we're better able to engage others so they can also do that change, right? Then we are all working towards this healthier environment, not only for those dealing with brain health issues, but also for ourselves, for our family members, for those providing resources, for everyone, right? 1.9 million adult Illinois residents dealing with a brain health issue each and every year. 1.9. That's just in Illinois. So let's create a healthier environment for all of them, as well as for ourselves and the providers that give the care, right? So Debbie mentioned at the beginning that we switch out some of the language, and here's some examples of, you know, how you've heard me use interchangeable language of, you know, brain health issue, brain health concern, just simply brain health instead of mental health, because it's taking care of your organ, right? In the state of Iowa, we have had the good fortune of getting a proclamation on the state level as well as from the city of Dubuque about Brain Health Awareness Month in October, and how the brain is an organ susceptible to disease and disorder, and that it needs to be taken care of, right? You can see some of our activities on this page include pre-COVID activities, which is receiving our proclamations, tabling at schools. That was a very fun activity, which was getting us right in front of families. We reached in 2019, and the beginning of 2020, before the pandemic really hit, we were able to reach over 15,000 students between multiple school districts, which is really impactful, and we hope to continue that work going forward once we're through the pandemic. But we have found alternative ways to engage with the students, even if we can't be there in person tabling. So we're asking you to help us end the stigma now, right? Think about the words that we use, because brain health is vital, and so is the way we talk about it. So let's talk about brain health, not mental illness, to end the stigma now. And I want to give you a few snapshots of the billboards that Debbie had mentioned at the beginning. These are the ones that we've had throughout Iowa, and we're so excited to start taking these broader and into Illinois and hopefully Wisconsin as we continue to grow. They're very, very simple. Brain health isn't crazy. So let's end the stigma. Let's not use the word crazy. Let's not use disturbed, odd, mental illness, right? So I invite you to check out our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram. We also have our website, which is brainhealth-now.org. So please check out our website. If you are interested in having us come and present to you, there's a form on our website that you can fill out. But again, you can also reach out via Facebook or Instagram. So thank you. And thank you for attending, and everyone have a wonderful night.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Yep. So just to kind of close it up then, thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Claira, for coming on and joining us this evening. Look for more programs in our Brain Health series throughout the rest of the year. This is definitely a focus for KSB moving forward. So again, thanks for everyone for joining us. Have a good evening.